Staples Center in Los Angeles for the Rangers and the LA Kings. Rangers playing back-to-back games tonight and tomorrow night. We'll play Thursday in Anaheim and Saturday in St. Louis. Closed captioning is brought to you by the New York Lottery. Hey, you never know. There's a New York man. Rochester, New York's own Ryan Callahan. I bet he's bought a few lottery tickets in his day.
Now, the Rangers won the lottery when they drafted him, that's for sure.
That's right. Here's our Audi goaltending matchup. Henrik Lundqvist. You see his record this season. He has not won here at Staples Center. 0-2. And Connecticut's own Jonathan Quick. Born in Milford, Connecticut. Goes home to Connecticut in the offseason. And the guy who has carried the LA Kings the last two seasons.
Yeah, Sam, he was so good in 2012 when you mentioned they won the Stanley Cup. And Alain Vigneault knows him well, being the head coach in Vancouver all those years. But Quick was so good going down the stretch and into the playoffs. But then after they won the Stanley Cup, he had 2 back surgeries in the offseason. His numbers weren't quite as good a season ago.
2 referees went over to say something to each coach. Our referees tonight are Tom Cowell and Kyle Raymond. Linesman Steve Miller, Pierre Racicot. Anze Kopitar and Brad Richards for the face-off. Rangers open the game with Richards centering. Rick Nash on the right. Derek Stepan on the left. They'll probably switch. You'll see Richards go to left wing. Stepan go into the middle. Ryan McDonough and Dan Girardi on defense for the Rangers. Anze Kopitar, number 11, with Dustin Brown, New York native, upstate New York native, the captain of the LA Kings. Girardi playing it back to Ryan McDonough. He's chased by Dustin Brown. Brown coming off the injury, just rounding into shape. And he's trying to hit people as much as he can to get into the flow of the game. Robin Regehr took a hit from Ryan Callahan.
Rangers have been physical to start this game.
Ryan Callahan is on with Brian Boyle in the middle. Taylor Pyatt on the left. Michael Del Zotto and Mark Stahl on defense. Here's Boyle in deep. The one-time LA King first-round draft pick gets a backhander on goal. Brian Boyle, drafted in 2003 by the Kings. Long shot by Mike Richards. Hits the net. Bangs off the glass. A couple of good hits along the boards. Good physical start to the game. Rangers change lines. Del Zotto holding as the rest of his teammates change.
Sam, you just knew that Ryan Callahan wouldn't hold up, didn't you?
No.
I mean, if he's going to play, he's going to come back and play the same way he always has.
Yeah, he was excited. Yesterday we saw him at practice. He was excited to get back into the game, get involved. He knows it'll take some time.
Timing more than anything, but how about that? That timing on the hit was perfect. Robin Regehr is a big player, and then he comes over with another hit. So a good first shift for the captain.
And his coach, Alain Vigneault, has told us it's like on-the-job conditioning for Derek Stepan and for Ryan Callahan. They'll just have to get in game shape by playing as much as they can. Around into top shape. Good physical battles along the boards. John Moore was involved with Trevor Lewis. Long shot from the point by Jake Muzzin, and a save by Lundqvist, and he holds it.
I like the way the Rangers have come out emotionally. I mean, they've been the aggressors as far as playing a physical style. They knew that LA was going to come out and try and play physical. That's their game. But each Ranger has come out, each line has come out playing physical.
Rangers' fourth line has Aaron Asham on it. His first game of the season. Dominic Moore, the center. Derek Dorsett is on the line. Jesper Fast is a healthy scratch. And so is Justin Falk for the Rangers. Played by Moore. Dominic Moore moving it around. Dorsett took a hit along the boards. Colin Fraser, almost a takeaway by Regehr. Moores, Kings keep it in. Kyle Clifford runs into Derek Dorsett. That's a big-time collision. And a good one.
Now, Kyle Clifford is one of their more physical players.
And here, Quick gloves
and he
the puck
doesn't
and
back
holds it.
down. You'll see it here. And Dorsett, as we know, doesn't either. And so a few words between the two. Now Doughty getting involved with Dorsett as well. And so a real good emotional start by both these teams. Here's a hit. Good, solid hit by Clifford. Dorsett goes back after him. Clifford continues to play. Asham then has a few words. I like the start.
Yeah,
this is fun.
Very much so. And the coaches knew that it would be this type of game. It's one of the reasons Aaron Asham is in. Face-off win by Brad Richards. Shot by Nash, is saved by Quick. Good follow by Rick Nash.
Yeah, and a very good right pad save.
Top line against top line. The first two shifts they've been out. Doughty keeps it in. Kopitar puts it through into the corner.
Good stick there. Pardon me, Sam. It was a good stick by Dan Girardi deflecting that backhanded pass by Kopitar.
Doughty pressured by Brad Richards. Justin Williams playing it across. Regier moves it quickly. Dustin Brown. Crowd alive. Big sports night here in Los Angeles. The Dodgers are playing Game 4 of their series with the Atlanta Braves.
It took about 7 hours last night, didn't it?
Well, they're back at it, and they're trying to close out the Braves. Dumped in. Meanwhile, opening night here in a packed house at Staples Center to see the Kings. Kings followed up the championship season with a real good run last year in the playoffs. Got to the conference final. They didn't want to play Chicago till as late as possible. That's what happened. Chicago beat the Kings in the conference final and then went on to win the cup. Shot by Callahan from a sharp angle went off of Quick. Boyle on with Callahan and Pyatt. Wraparound by Boyle, blocked by Quick. Good pressure by this line. Now Mike Richards trying to lift it out, blocked by Taylor Pyatt. Pyatt was hurt on it. May have gone off his face. Willie Mitchell playing it across. You mentioned Willie Mitchell. He's been out. He missed all of last season.
Yeah, 15 months without playing for Willie Mitchell. After they won the cup, he hurt himself working out. He had 2 knee surgeries. Like Dean Lombardi, their GM, told me last year, he said, I don't think he'll play again, and here he is.
Yeah. Shot by Mark Stahl goes wide. Delzato keeps it in. Good job of the Rangers. Here's Brassard, Pouliot, and Zuccarello. Brassard with a puck. Looking for an opening. Finds Delzato. Shot blocked. Good block by Matt Fratton, the former Toronto Maple Leaf. Offside whistle against the Rangers. 4:32 gone by. Taylor Pyatt, puck got him in the face, I believe, Joe.
I think you're right, Sam. So they'll take him to the locker room. Meanwhile, real good back-to-back shifts by the Rangers. Boyle first tries to just stuff it in the short side, coming around the net. We've seen more of those types of chances. And so Alain Vigneault has talked about his team being better. This is a real good start for his team. I mean, they've been aggressive. And I think they'll do a better job on the forecheck in this game because Jonathan Quick doesn't handle the puck nearly as well as Mike Smith did for Phoenix, who's probably the best in the game.
Fired around the boards by Lundqvist, bounces down the corner. Jared Stoll, number 28, tied up by his opposite, number 28, Dominic Moore. Puck chased down by John Moore. He took a hard hit from Stoll. Dwight King trying to play it in front. Dorsett was there to stop it. Strowman clears it out. No score in the game. A little over 5 minutes gone by first period. And both coaches have rolled their 4 lines. Pushed ahead by Stepan. Drew Doughty there to play it. Goes around his net. Justin Williams, good pass to Kopitar. Now Dustin Brown. Shot by Kopitar. Save. There's a rebound. Poked loose by Dustin Brown. Dropped down as Lundqvist couldn't control it. Williams back to Regier for a wrister save. Lundqvist comes out to get it with 2 guys behind him. John Moore and Dustin Brown battling, rather Ryan McDonough and Dustin Moore. There's the head coach of the LA Kings, and his contract, Darryl Sutter's contract, has been extended through 2016, 2017, and he deserves it.
You're right. You're very well deserved. You know, Sam, they were so beat up last year during the playoffs, including him. He had double hernia surgery in the summer. He said he could hardly stand on the bench in that final series against Chicago. That's how bad it was. And then he missed his annual trip up into the mountains with his brothers on the horses. They take that big trip.
But he said he worked on the farm, Joe.
Yeah, well, he did work when he could. He said he had to sit around for a couple hours or a couple of weeks. He was bored to death.
He left the harvest to Brian. I said, who's left on the farm? Everybody's out.
Right.
He said, Brian's up there.
He takes care of all
He's got
that.
the harvest.
But they go on this horse trip up in the mountains, Sam. I mean, this is not, with guys. They do it on. It's tough.
Jordan Dolan shoots wide. And congratulations to Darryl. His son Brett is playing with the Carolina Hurricanes and has been up, and that's a good thing. Always good when you have Sutters playing in the NHL.
Gosh, they're all over, aren't they? Whoever thought they'd be finished when the six brothers stopped. I forgot they were going to have kids. They're all over.
Colin Fraser dumps it in. John Moore back to get it, drops it off for Anton Strawman. Nearly 7 minutes in. Scoreless game, good pace. Good physical play as well. Backhander was blocked by Slava Voinov, number 26, a good defenseman for LA. Jeff Carter trying to break through, poked away. Lundqvist got a piece of it, not enough. But he did get a piece of it.
How about that rush? Jeff Carter was their best player throughout training camp. Tremendous goal scorer. Had a real good season a year ago.
Great year in the shortened season, 48 games. He had 26 goals.
He didn't have many assists, but I'll tell you, he's a dangerous player. Both at wing or he can play center as well.
Dorsett sends it in. Doughty is there, checked by Asham. Stoll was able to move it, knocked down by Mark Stahl, who takes over. He's pressured by Jarrett Stoll, who wrestles him down the ice. No call on the play. Jarrett Stoll tried to play it ahead. Rangers intercept. Both teams skating well and pretty sharp. Jake Muzzin moves in. Shot by Dwight King is blocked. Stepan up the boards to Rick Nash. Lets Brad Richards play it. And Matt Green takes it back for LA. Past the 8-minute mark of this first period. No score in the game. Rangers 4 shots, Kings 3. Quick leaving it there. Voinov playing it aside to Justin Williams, who started his NHL career with the Philadelphia Flyers.
Talk about a winner. He's won cups.
Carolina.
And one here.
McDonough and Williams go for the puck. Nice play by McDonough. Gets it back from Dan Girardi. Round it goes. Quick goes out to get it. Jonathan Quick, a couple of years ago, had back problems.
Yep.
But we talked to him yesterday, and he said he's totally over that.
Yeah, that was right after the cup season, Sam.
Yeah.
He had 2 back surgeries. And even though his numbers last year, they were down in comparison, he was so good that year they won the cup going down the stretch. But he never really got back, I think because of the surgeries more than anything, to that level he was the prior season. But, now he's back, he's feeling good, and he is tremendous.
Yep.
Strong legs, very aggressive, almost a complete opposite style of Henrik Lundqvist, yet both of these goaltenders threw the best in the game.
Derek Stepan sends it around the glass. Drew Doughty able to play it out. Mark Stahl takes over. Stahl with Strawman here. Muzzin sending it around the boards. Picked up by Matt Fratton. Fratton came over in the trade from Toronto. Shot by Mike Richards. Stick save by Lundqvist. It's up into the netting and play stops. 10:18 to go in the first period. Mark Stahl and Jarrett Stoll. They battle.
John Giannone back in Los Angeles behind the glass tonight, where I can still tell the pace, the puck possession, the physicality at a real high level through this first early part of the game. It'll be interesting to get Ryan McDonough's take on things. He'll be our first intermission guest. We invite you to send your questions through the use of Twitter. Go with the hashtag NYR. Send your questions for Ryan McDonough and your thoughts and comments on the first period as well for Ron Duguay. He's putting in some late night duty with Bill Pito. They're back at the home office in New York, and they will join us on the first intermission report. Sam and Joe?
Yeah, thanks, John. McDonough saying this morning, Sam, how lucky he was. Remember, he got hit with that shot. He saw it for the first time yesterday on film, and he is really lucky. Him right in the chin, and he got away with just 6 stitches. No broken jaw. He could eat all that stuff.
Off the nice play, Richards' shot was partially deflected. That was Mike Richards of the LA Kings. Started his career with the Philadelphia Flyers. Callahan on here with Dominic Moore and Brian Boyle. Taylor Pyatt is still in the locker room, being checked out, and a quick job by Jonathan Quick to cover the puck and stop play. Wednesday night on MSG Network, Melo and the Knicks open the preseason against the Boston Celtics. Live coverage gets underway at 7:30. Knicks preseason basketball Wednesday night on MSG.
Well, you mentioned the Philadelphia Flyers. How about that move they made today? 3 games in. They start the season 0-3. They score only 3 goals, and Peter Laviolette gets fired as the head coach. Craig Berube, who's been an assistant there for 7 years and has paid his dues as a coach.
Yes, he has.
Is, getting the opportunity.
But Peter Laviolette, a good man, good coach, Stanley Cup winner in Carolina, and boy, an early exit this season. I didn't get a sense that things were bad, Joe, when we were down there in preseason. Did you?
I didn't, but Paul Holmgren, their general manager, you know, he didn't like what he saw last year, but he said because of the lockout, he felt Peter deserved to start this season. He said he didn't like what he saw in the preseason, nor did he like what he saw to start the regular season.
But Giroux wasn't there in the preseason for them.
No, you're right. You're right.
Surprised. But they made the move. And you're right about Craig Berube. He's paid his dues, coached in the minor leagues, been an assistant, longtime NHL player, longtime Flyer.
Hey, good luck to him. He's a good man. He's been a student of the coaching profession. He's worked hard to get this chance.
And Peter Laviolette will be back. He is a good coach and a good man.
Oh, for sure. He might be back this year. It wouldn't surprise me.
Girardi to Dominic Moore off the boards. Asham tries to get it out and does. No score in the game. 8:45 to go in the first. Turned into a defensive battle. Good forechecking by both teams. Here's Dustin Brown. Long shot, reeks off the post. A rising rocket. It had Lundqvist beaten over the shoulder. He makes a save and the rebound went wide. Kopitar almost put in the rebound. Now some good chances here. Willie Mitchell with a shot wide. This is a mismatch that Daryl Sutter has gotten. His top line gets the Rangers' 4th line.
Rangers need a whistle.
Aaron Asham under pressure.
And Lundqvist, if he could get a hold of the puck, he'd hold on to it. That's a good shift. Best shift of the game for the LA Kings.
McDonough and Girardi are on. And now the Rangers have been able to change lines. Brassard, Pouliot come on. As does Zuccarello.
That initial shot by Dustin Brown, he used Dan Girardi as a screen and just pulled it. Looked like he went through the legs, and Lundqvist had trouble picking it up.
Long pass by McDonough off the stick of Zuccarello. Played there by Jake Muzzin. Kyle Clifford and Colin Fraser. Fraser number 24 for LA. Clearing it out. LA Kings picked up Dan Carcillo, who played with the Chicago Blackhawks, the Stanley Cup champions, but he hasn't been able to get in the lineup.
No, not yet. But how about this, Sam? I ran into Stan Bowman, the general manager of the Chicago Blackhawks, in the hotel today. Asked him what he was doing here. And he said he came here to meet Dan Carcillo, have dinner with him, and give him his Stanley Cup ring.
Oh, that's
Isn't that great? He flew all the way out here to present it to him personally.
Great. That's a great job.
That's a classy thing to do by Stan Bowman and the Blackhawks.
Sent back in. Loose puck by Richards going for it. Nice job by Stralman. Pass deflected in front. Rangers bring it out. Rick Nash Richards to his left, checked from behind by Jeff Carter. They were teammates in Columbus when Carter was there briefly half the season. Giveaway, Nash has it, save, quick, rebound, Richards scores! Good effort by the Rangers. Alert plays. And Richards follows up with a sharp angle goal. Rangers lead 1-0.
Yeah, he deserves a goal. The Rangers do an excellent job on the forecheck. They get in there quickly, which they've tried to do in this game. They get in quickly, they keep the play alive. It starts in their own zone. Nash leads the rush, but look how he stays with it. They keep the pressure on. Nash gets some help. Then the turnover there as Doughty turns it over. And the one chance, quick with a beautiful save, and there was Richards. So Drew Doughty tried to make a little move coming out of his own zone. The Rangers stay on top of it, poke check it, and Richards gives them the lead.
Stepan made a terrific play against Doughty, forced that turnover. Now the Kings back. Slava Voinov shot deflects into the corner. Mitchell works it down the board, so the Rangers get their first 5-on-5 goal, even full-strength goal of the season, and take the lead for the first time.
Now, I know we played just 14 minutes, but the Rangers look like a different team tonight.
I agree.
They really do.
Good start.
It's a good start. Richards is continuing his fine play from game number 1, but they're handling the puck. I think they're a little quicker on the forecheck, and again, I think the goaltender makes a difference because Smith was so good at clearing the puck out of his own zone in Phoenix. But this is a real impressive start in this first period.
Just under 6 minutes to go. After the icing, the face-off in the Ranger zone. Brian Boyle against Anze Kopitar. Zuccarello, nice play to get over and chip it clear. Rangers able to change and bring on Rick Nash with Benoit Pouliot and Derek Brassard. That's an interesting combination. Nash on the line. There's a shot by Brown. Save. Loose puck played there by Pouliot. And Nash able to work it back. Quickly to McDonough. Lundqvist has made a couple of real good saves. Puck all the way down. This will be an icing. And there's the hybrid icing. Going for the Kings coming down. New York Rangers individual game tickets are on sale now. Visit NewYorkRangers.com to purchase. And you'll be able to watch the Rangers in the newly transformed Madison Square Garden. Rangers first home game, October the 28th. Alain Vigneault was talking with his assistant coach, Ulf Samuelsson, who handles the defense.
Yeah, so then he gets, because of the icing, he makes a change and he puts the Dominic Moore line out against the top line for LA, the Anze Kopitar line. If you want to count them the top line,
Yeah.
that first and second line, they're both tremendous.
Moore won the draw. Stahl moves deep with it. Try to center. Justin Williams takes it away. Dominic Moore checks him. Off the skate of Kopitar. Good forecheck here. Kyle Clifford for LA. Firing it off the corner boards. Mark Stahl takes over. .45 to go, first period. Rangers leading 1-0 on the goal by Brad Richards. On the boards, Dominic Moore. Now Stahl. Good forecheck pressure here by the Kings. Stick broken. Derek Dorsett's stick was broken. He goes to the bench. And on comes Brad Richards. And it's whistled down. The face-off in the Ranger zone with 4:19 to go in the first period. Brad Richards with his first of the season.
Brad Richards has given the Rangers a 1-0 lead, his first goal of the season. Here's the shot off the post. Screen shot. Dustin Brown off the crossbar, out the other way. Lundqvist couldn't pick it up, and then Willie Mitchell at the point gets one shot. Here comes the rebound. Good job in front defensively, and that opportunity by Kopitar, you could see Girardi leaning on his stick, prevented one. And how about that great work with the right foot of Brad Richards to kick it up to his stick and put it in all in one motion. And the Rangers with a 1-0 lead.
Richards got the goal assisted by Nash and Stepan. Stepan made the terrific play to force the turnover. 13:32 the time of the goal. And the Rangers leading 1-0. Good start to the game for Henrik Lundqvist. He's been sharp. Brian Boyle moves in against Mike Richards. Mike Richards wins the draw. Willie Mitchell with a shot blocked. Nice play by Callahan. Getting out to the point man. Girardi to Dominic Moore. All the way down on goal. Willie Mitchell takes over. Alain Vigneault knows Willie Mitchell well. Willie Mitchell played in Vancouver for 4 seasons when Alain Vigneault was the coach. Dominic Moore and Slava Voinov. Callahan checked by Mike Richards. Swings it in front off the stick of Voinov for off his skate. And Quick had to stop it and cover up. And after the whistle, Brian Boyle involved with Willie Mitchell.
Good work by Callahan. He had Mike Richards all over him, and Callahan was able to just fight him off and then throw a blind backhanded pass to the front of the net. That's where it went off the skate of Voinov, and Jonathan Quick was alert. So for Callahan, he's had some hits, he's blocked some shots, he has set up some plays, and he'll probably end up scoring a goal before the night's over.
He usually does something.
Complete his night.
Drew Doughty off the glass, out of the zone. Back forward, Rick Nash. Richards, Stepan, and Nash the line for the Rangers. Nice play by Stepan. Good position to intercept the pass by Justin Williams. Out of the zone, Stepan goes to get it. Stepan skating well here.
Yeah,
He's been in real good position.
Again, he came into camp in good physical shape, but he needed to play at least a game, and he looks much better tonight.
Off the boards and deep, Stepan against Robin Regeer. Zuccarello in the corner, checked by Doughty. Ahead for Dustin Brown, the captain of the Kings. And the man will have a good chance of making the U.S. Olympic team. Both of these teams have several players that are Olympic eligible for their various countries. And will have good chances to make the teams. Intercept by McDonough. Brassard trying to gain the zone. Stoll moves it around to Jake Muzzin. And McDonough there to take it back. Last week the Rangers sent down, you know, the last cuts. Chris Kreider was sent down, but last week, at the end of the week after the Phoenix game, JT Miller was sent down. He scored 2 goals the other night, and the Rangers win against Albany. That's a great sign, and Chris Kreider scored a goal as well. Voinov works it ahead for Dwight King, puts it in front, and Strawman was there to break it up. Minute 40 to go in this first period. Voinov, likely that he will be on the Russian Olympic team. A whistle, that's an offside as they went back and forth. Minute 34 to go in the first. Rangers leading. And tonight's Cold Hard Facts are brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. Henrik Lundqvist at the Staples Center 0-2-0 and is winless in 4 other arenas. And Detroit, Colorado, Edmonton, and St. Louis.
You'll get a chance in all of those this year because of the new schedule.
That's right. They'll be looking to change that.
Boy, Edmonton losing again tonight. They're off to a difficult start, allowing a lot of goals. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, who's been injured, is back in the lineup tonight.
Yeah, coming back from shoulder surgery.
But the Devils are ahead 3-0 in that game.
We were talking to the coaches this morning, and they want to get Marty Biron a game this week, but they're not sure which one it'll be, but he will get one of the games on this trip in this 4 games in 6 night span. Rangers in San Jose tomorrow night, in Anaheim Thursday night, and St. Louis Saturday night. Here comes Callahan. Pulls up, shoots high and wide. Mike Richards. Good pass. Jeff Carter lost it, swept away by Stahl. Carter has it back. Under a minute to go in the first period. Stahl, good play to get it to Brassard. And now Del Zotto. Taylor Pyatt has not returned since getting hit in the face with a puck early in this first period. Played out in front. Shot by Nash off the outside of the net. Stepan tried to fire it in front of his block. Stepan again. And Quick made a save. Boy, this line has played well. McDonough got held up along the boards.
Sam, that started with Richards getting behind the net, stealing the puck, and then setting up the plays. Oh,
King.
that hit the linesman, or Nash might have had an opportunity down the other way.
Kings were offside. Rangers able to take control. The offside has been negated as the Kings have touched up. Final seconds of the first period. And a good first period for the Rangers. They lead it 1-0 end of the first. The goal by Brad Richards, and a good first period by the Rangers.
Yeah, Richards not only scores the goal, but he makes a play at the end, and the Rangers nearly took a 2-0 lead. Look at the hustle by Richards. Gets in quickly, steals it from Mitchell. Again, uses his feet to get the puck to the stick, and then sets it up in front, and 2 or 3 other good chances after that, all because of the aggressive forecheck and the good play by Brad Richards.
Stay tuned. Coming up, it's the Delta Intermission Report with John Giannone. Ryan McDonough is his special guest. We'll go back to the studio in New York to Bill Pito and Ron Duguay. They'll have the Audi MSG 150 and first period highlights. It's all coming up on the Delta Intermission Report. They'll also have highlights of the Devils and Edmonton Oilers. Here in LA, the Rangers off to a good start. Playing well, skating well, hitting, and Brad Richards scoring the goal. Taylor Pyatt is back. We're back. Glad you're with us for New York Rangers hockey. As always, presented by Chase. Moments away from the start of the second period. That's a good sign. After he got some stitches. That young man is our good friend, Bob Miller.
Yeah.
For 41 years, the voice of the Los Angeles Kings. He's a Hockey Hall of Famer, and this coming Saturday, he will celebrate his 75th birthday.
Yeah.
Just a great man, a great guy, and an icon here in Los Angeles.
He sure is. He is a tremendous guy. He looks great, doesn't he?
Oh,
He
fabulous.
looks great. Still sounds absolutely terrific. And then we didn't see his analyst partner, but he and Jimmy Fox, this is their 24th year together.
Wow.
They've been a terrific duo for a long time.
What do you think about it? Vince Scully, here's the one thing, Bob's still chasing Vince Scully. Because Vin is still going strong with the Dodgers, but Bob is right behind him, going strong with the LA Kings.
And he's going to keep chasing. Don't know if he'll ever catch him. He's going to keep trying, though. That's all that matters.
They both deserve everything because they're great people and great announcers.
For sure.
Underway, second period. Boyle, Pyatt, and Callahan started off for the Rangers with Stahl and Del Zotto. Drew Doughty for LA.
I was going to say Daryl Sutter made a change. The Doughty or the Kopitar line out against Boyle.
Callahan to Pyatt, save. Rebound, another save by Quick. Rangers getting 3 chances on Jonathan Quick.
Well, the Rangers got away with a trip, and that turned into 3 good scoring chances.
Boyle reached back with his stick. He tripped up.
Callahan's down.
Uh-oh.
Callahan went to hit Kopitar.
That's not good.
I don't know if...
Oh, boy.
Really hard to say what he hurt, but I think he got the stick up high.
Yeah,
I see he's bleeding.
Callahan to the locker room.
Kopitar's a big guy, and it looked to me like there's 11. Oh, he got him with the stick before they made contact. Was that even? Did anybody see that? He got him. I don't think it was intentional by Kopitar. He's not that type of player. But as he's turning, he's not even looking. He doesn't, to me, he doesn't see that Callahan is there. He's just moving with his stick up, but you have to control your stick. Boy, they missed it. He caught Callahan right in the mouth with his stick.
Callahan in the locker room with medical trainer Jim Ramsey. The puck deflects out of play. We'll try to get a report for you as soon as we can.
And you know what, Sam? The way they changed this, 2 years ago now, where all 4 officials, if a linesman sees something, in years past, linesmen couldn't do anything. Right. But if they see something, the 4 of them can get together, and anybody see anything, and they can make the call. Nobody saw that.
Stepan Richards and Nash on the ice. It seems as if Stepan's playing more on the left side, Joe, and Richards is more in the middle.
Richards is taking a lot of face-offs. I think they're just kind of moving around a little bit. And Nash, I thought, had a real good first period as well.
Mike Richards moves in. Pass it. What a play by Brad Richards coming back against Jeff Carter. Outstanding back-checking work by Brad Richards with Rick Nash. Check there by Slava Voinov. And Voinov got the end of the follow-through on Nash's stick. Good hustling effort. Rangers skating very well. A lot of hustle in this game. Brassard. Now Zuccarello. Richards still on the ice. Comes around the net. Good play by Voinov. And it's kept in by John Moore. Down comes Strawman to get there. Around to Zuccarello. Makes a move on Mike Richards. Long shift for Mike Richards. John Moore toward the net. Deflected and went off of quick and into the corner.
Yeah, you're right. Richards can hardly skate. Mike Richards, that is.
And this is a long change, and he can't get off. John Moore. A wrister goes wide. In deep is Strawman. Reverses. Back up top, Brassard. Now John Moore. Try to get it into the middle for Strawman. Good play by Fratton to break it up. John Moore. Rangers keeping the puck in the LA zone. Strawman. In deep. Went by Voinov. Brassard in front, the shot blocked. Pouliot had a chance, but was denied in front. John Moore with a shot knocked down by Voinov. That shot, a glove save. Strawman shot, and Jonathan Quick gloves it and holds.
Boy, right at the start of the period, now Mike Richards is going to make his way off the ice. He is tired, but this started right here. That trip was missed. That was Boyle, and then here come the Rangers. Callahan picks it up. There's one chance, a second one, and then even after that, another one close in. Pouliot has another chance. Now at this point, the LA Kings they're tired. They can't get off the ice. The Rangers continue the pressure, and some pretty good chances.
Kings move in. Trevor Lewis stopped by Mark Stahl with that long reach. And Stahl took a hit, but the Rangers come out with a puck. Brad Richards. Here's Stepan. Trying to get a shot off. He was checked from behind. The pass bounced over the stick of Brad Richards. Trevor Lewis the other way. Dumps it in. Delzato goes over against Dwight King, who rode him hard to the boards. At the point. Shot by Regeer. Deflects in the corner. Robin Regeer came over last season from Buffalo. Shot by Doughty, a save by Lundqvist, and he holds it. We are 3:18 into the second period. Tomorrow night on MSG Network, the Rangers take on the Sharks in San Jose. Live coverage gets underway with Visa Rangers game night at 10. Then it's the Rangers and the Sharks presented by Chase tomorrow night on MSG Network. Hope you'll join us. Sharks are another big, strong team out west with high hopes of going a long way this season.
Uh-oh, now we got Asham.
Asham against Kyle Clifford.
Asham's connected with a couple.
Been a physical game to start. Not surprising this breaks out.
It's been very emotional. saw Clifford early in the game get a big hit, and Asham had stepped in. And so these two teams really emotional and physical to start the game. There's Clifford with a hit on Asham. He had a big hit in the first period as well, and then I think Clifford wanted to try and change this momentum because the Rangers seem to have the momentum of this game. And Asham really did well in this one. Two tough guys.
Darryl Sutter looks on. Aaron Asham saying at practice yesterday when he learned he would be in the lineup tonight, he said basically he's fighting for his career. He's fighting to stay in the NHL.
Yeah, they put him on waivers in the summer. No one picked him up. All 30 teams had a chance to, or the other 29 teams had a chance to pick him up in June. They all passed.
Taylor Pyatt working the boards against Colin Fraser. Here's Rick Nash on.
Rick Nash has been strong tonight.
Nash moving with the puck. Gets in and a save by Quick. Nash put on the line with Pyatt and Boyle. The scramble with Quick in the crease.
That was a quick whistle. The referee couldn't see the puck, but that puck was free. And Taylor Pyatt had one chance. He got another whack at it. Quick was trying to find it, but that puck was in front of him. Look at the move by Nash. Big and strong. Takes it to the net, and then let's listen for the whistle here. Now, clearly that puck was not covered up by the goaltender, but the referee lost sight of it with a lot of bodies around. Quick was trying to get his glove, and then it goes off the post. Oh, boy.
Good hustle there again. There you see the stitches taken by Taylor Pyatt after getting hit with a puck in the first period. The Rangers, it seems wherever he can, Alain Vigneault is putting Rick Nash in for some extra playing time. And Nash has responded.
He has.
Dustin Brown played it to the side of the net. Zuccarello fires around the glass, knocked down by Justin Williams.
Now Nash just looks tonight, Sam, like he doesn't want to be denied. You know, he's strong on the puck, hitting people when he gets a chance.
Brassard racing down to the net. Pouliot, he's in! Save by Quick! Great play by the Rangers and a super save by Jonathan Quick.
What a chance. Again, the Rangers do a good job defensively. Now here's Brassard and a nice little pass here. And then for Pouliot, he just simply, when you take it to the back end, you've got to get it up high. And he couldn't lift it over the glove. Give credit to Jonathan Quick. That's a beautiful save.
Beautiful pass by Brassard to send in Pouliot for the scoring chance. Rangers skating very well. 4:35 gone by, second period. Shot by John Moore, saved by Quick. Rangers now out shooting the Kings 14-9 and leading 1-0. Dorsett knocked out. First penalty, first power play of the game coming up on a cross check.
Drew Doughty, I believe. Doughty or Carter. I believe it's Doughty, who's one of their better penalty killers. And it looks like the Kings are getting a little frustrated. I saw Clifford come out and want to get into the fight. And then you'll see the cross check there. And so Dorsett is the recipient of the cross check by Drew Doughty. First power play of the game for either team.
4:51, the time of the penalty here in the second period. This Rangers power play is presented by Volkswagen. Brian Boyle will take the face-off on with Rick Nash and Derek Stepan, Mark Stahl, and Brad Richards. The puck to Richards. He's pressured there, moves it to Stepan. Jarrett Stoll, an excellent penalty killer for many years, able to take it away and clear. Kings have Lewis and Stoll, the forwards.
Sorry, Sam. JT Miller had played that first power play unit, then he was sent down, but the expectation was that Ryan Callahan would be there, but we haven't seen him back from the locker room as of yet.
So Brian Boyle with a big body will go in front. Stoll with a takeaway. Races down. Brad Richards back. And Richards got a piece of that shot. Richards takes over. Leads Brian Boyle. Boyle moves in. Check there by Justin Williams. Good play by Williams. Boyle keeps it alive with a skate. The clearing attempt knocked down by Mark Stahl. Nice play. Nash. That was blocked. Kings trying to clear. Richards knocks it down. Very aggressive penalty kill by the Kings. Boyle hit by Matt Green. Anze Kopitar with a good pass to Williams. Justin Williams comes out with Kopitar. Saved by Lundqvist. Richards playing the rebound to Delzato. 40 seconds to go. Rangers power play. Delzato carries in. Pass blocked by Mike Richards. Brassard. That went behind Pouliot. Zuccarello takes it. Here's Brassard. Now Dan Girardi. Shot by Zuccarello. Tipped wide. Went off the glass. Clearing attempt stopped by Stralman. No, by Girardi. Girardi with a one-timer that's deflected into the corner. And the Kings clear. The latter portion of this power play better for the Rangers, but the Kings very aggressive and blocking shots. Rangers offside as Brassard left the line too soon. And play stopped. Power play is over. 6:52 gone by. Second period. Rangers leading 1-0. Here is the Lexus upcoming schedule. Rangers in San Jose to play the Sharks tomorrow night, 10:30 game time. In Anaheim Thursday night, 10 p.m. game time on MSG. And Saturday night, 8 p.m. start in St. Louis against the Blues.
Tough schedule. Sharks are a good team. They've rebuilt that team over the last couple of years. Logan Couture is one of the league's best young players.
Yep, the upcoming schedule was brought to you by Lexus, the official luxury vehicle of the New York Rangers.
You know, Sam, and then the Rangers have another home opener. That's Anaheim.
That's right.
Home opener. So that's 3 on this trip.
Lundqvist was able to clear the puck aside. Long shot was going wide. Lundqvist gloving it. Jake Muzzin took the shot. Rangers with a 1-0 lead. First period goal by Brad Richards. Derek Dorsett. Rangers dressing Dorsett and Asham in the game tonight, expecting a physical game. Much what they expected is unfolding. Brian Boyle up the boards for Derek Dorsett. Ryan Callahan has not returned as yet from the Rangers locker room after being hit with a stick by Anze Kopitar. Lundqvist played it into the corner. Boyle chips it ahead to Dominic Moore. He takes a hit from Dwight King. Now John Moore. Pass tipped by Justin Williams. And Dominic Moore able to play it deep. And we were talking with Dominic Moore earlier today, and he was saying to us each game he just wants to get stronger, just get back into that rhythm after not playing all of last season.
You know, it's been pretty amazing.
Sharp angle shot by Justin Williams, stopped by Lundqvist.
Now, Sam, to miss an entire season the way he has and to be, as good as this, that was a little bit of a, of a delay on that hybrid icing call. That's what they're trying to, and now Willie Mitchell's having some conversation with the officials. They're having, here's the race, and they got to make that decision.
Oh, that's a tough call.
It really is a tough call.
Pouliot was flying.
Yeah. He was behind, right, by a couple of strides, and then away he went. He's got a little more speed than Willie Mitchell.
It looked like by the time they got to the dots, it was virtually even.
Right.
Matt Fratton plays it up the boards. Doughty across to Regier. And the save made. A penalty upcoming on the Rangers. And they'll be shorthanded for the first time in the game on a holding call to Anton Stralman.
Yeah, and it was a good save by Lundqvist. It looked like Mike Richards was able to get his stick on that wrist shot from the point and force Lundqvist to make a good save. But Stralman was there right in front of the net. He's got Mike Richards. Now, it wasn't Richards that deflected. I didn't believe it was Jeff Carter, but Richards was being held by Stralman, and we'll sit this one out.
All right, Kings with Kopitar, Mike Richards, and Jeff Carter. Slava Voinov and Drew Doughty face-off win for the Kings. Dominic Moore with Brian Boyle, Dan Girardi, and Ryan McDonough for the Rangers. McDonough was battling Mike Richards in front. He's peeled off and is able to clear all the way down. Strallman for holding. 8:18 the time of the penalty. Kopitar drops it off. Carter tipped back to Mike Richards. Now to Jeff Carter. Shot blocked by Girardi. Carter again. Picked up there by McDonough. Good play by Ryan McDonough out of the zone. Voinov having trouble with Taylor Pyatt. Pyatt gets in and shoots. Save made by Quick. What an effort by Taylor Pyatt.
Yeah, he's played a strong game, Taylor Pyatt, after getting hit in the first period with the puck and then returning to start this second period. Good aggressive play. Voinov generally handles the puck well at the point. He's a good offensive defenseman. But Taylor Pyatt was able to get past him, muscle him, use his feet to kick the puck ahead, and release the puck all in one motion and force Quick to make a good save.
You saw the coach, Alain Vigneault, come down and pat Taylor Pyatt on the back. Good effort. Minute 10 to go in the power play. Face-off win by Dominic Moore. Moore and Dorsett on with Del Zotto and Stahl. Takeaway by Moore. Off the side of the net it goes.
Well, that was Williams. Some miscommunication by the LA Kings, and Dominic Moore was alert. He just jumped on the loose puck and tried to slide it quickly past Quick.
Justin Williams, good pass. Fratton to Dustin Brown. Around the boards, Jarrett Stoll. And that pass went through Jake Muzzin.
That's good pressure by the Rangers. They're forcing LA into making quick decisions, and some of those decisions have been poor.
Justin Williams moves in. 25 seconds to go in the power play. Dominic Moore digging. Jarrett Stoll there, able to work it ahead. Good pressure by Stahl on Justin Williams, who turns it over, and Stepan clears it.
Natives getting a little restless here already. First game at home. Their power play has actually been pretty good to start the season, with 3 power play goals in the first 2 games.
Muzzin's pass tipped by Stepan, cleared by Pyatt. Waiting for it is Quick. And able to move the wobbling puck. Team's back at full strength. Giveaway shot by Brassard. He missed wide.
Oh, boy.
Big chance for Derek Brassard.
Another turnover, and Sam, that's something they talked about, hitting the net. What a chance.
But aggressive play, and Rick Nash with a takeaway. Brad Richards moves into the net. They score! That may have gone in off a Kings defenseman, but Brad Richards with a terrific play. Rangers lead 2-0.
Oh, turnover after turnover by LA. It went off the stick of Voinov, the defenseman, and Richards will get credit for it. Nice job there, strong by Nash. And then Voinov goes the other way. Richards ends up with the puck. And then as Voinov tries to make the defensive play with his stick, this is an attempted pass by Richards right there, and it goes off the stick of Voinov through the legs of Quick. And the Rangers, with outstanding penalty killing, score a goal to make it 2-0.
And it's 2-0 for Brad Richards with a 2-goal game. How about that? And if I remember correctly, I don't think he's ever had a hat trick.
No, you're not remembering correctly, Sam. Last year against Buffalo.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
But that was a lockout year, so
no, but
that's okay.
Yeah.
We all tried to forget
it had been a long time coming. 8:59 to go. Brad Richards, 2 goals. Rangers sharp. They lead 2-0.
Sam Gagne, that's it. Thank you. Meanwhile, Doughty behind the net. Oh, and then Brassard runs into him. Oh, and then Doughty uses his stick on Brassard. That's why those two are in the box.
All right. 11:01 the time of the coincidental minors. Scoring on the Rangers' second goal, Richards from Brassard and Nash. Rick Nash with 2 assists in the game. 10:46 the time of the goal. 2 goals for Brad Richards. Oh! Down went Anze Kopitar as he was low bridged by Dan Girardi, trying to jump over him. Justin Williams, team skating 4 aside. Rangers leading 2-0. Justin Williams for Anze Kopitar.
They've had trouble with the Rangers' aggressiveness on the puck.
Dunn and Girardi on defense. Kopitar controlling in front. Good play by Girardi on Jeff Carter. Carter came off the bench, went right to the net. And a worse play by Girardi to block his chance.
The Rangers have been much better in their zone tonight.
A giveaway here by Richards. That's blocked by McDonough.
Except for that time.
And that shot, they score! Jake Muzzin. First glaring mistake that the Rangers made, and it cost them.
No, for sure. They end up giving the puck away. They had a chance to clear it. And then Muzzin just moves in. Muzzin's been a good offensive player for them. And he moves in, quick wrist shot, just over the glove of Lundqvist to get the Kings back in the game at 2-1.
Still skating 4 aside. Racing for the puck. Zuccarello, saved by Quick. Oh man, the Rangers have had some glorious chances in this game. Brian Boyle battling Matt Green. Boyle keeps moving. Good effort by Brian Boyle. Green stays with him. Boyle using the big body. Trying to get out in front. Green took him down. Muzzin had it knocked away. Mike Richards has it. Now Jeff Carter. And gives it away to Delzato. Muzzin gets the goal from Mike Richards at 12-11. And the Rangers lead cut to 2-1. Delzato saved by Quick into the corner. Quick shot by Stahl and a save by Quick.
One side of the ice from one defenseman, Delzato, and quickly up the ice on the other side was Mark Stahl to get the rebound.
Yeah, no hesitation by Stahl. Let it go. Off the boards and out of play. And it deflected out of play, so there's no penalty on the play. 6:41 to go here in the second.
Yeah, right from the face-off. Here comes Zuccarello with that chance. Quick makes a save, but has no idea where the puck was, and it just trickles wide. Boy, that's right off the face-off. Good play. Quickly, the Rangers get a scoring chance. Well, they've had some quality chances in this game.
Teams are back at full strength on the ice. Jared Stoll and Brian Boyle for the face-off. Still waiting on further word. Ryan Callahan is not returned to the ice since being caught with a stick. Anze Kopitar, Girardi able to get it to Asham. Boyle, Asham, and Pyatt on the line here for the Rangers. McDonough against Doughty. Justin Williams. Now to Robin Regeer. Now Doughty with a drive. Tipped wide off the side of the net. A high deflection by Jared Stoll. Pyatt able to get it out. Dumps it into the Kings zone.
That puck might have hurt Boyle as he deflected it and looked like that came up. Maybe caught him in the face area.
Regeer and Doughty. John Moore with Anton Strawman. Beats Stepan. Doughty able to get it clear. Kyle Clifford with a good feed to Colin Fraser. That's blocked by Moore. John Moore with a good block. Here's Nash lifting it out.
Sam, that was a nice reaction by John Moore because he was on the left side, and when they dumped it back to the other side, he moved all the way over there to make the defensive play. Well, what a skater. He and McDonough, they are so effortless.
Colin Fraser. Pass intended for Jordan Nolan. Offside was whistled. No, it was touched with a high stick. Excuse me. Play stops. 5:04 to go, second period. Rangers leading 2-1. Tomorrow on MSG Plus, join Bob Papa and Carl Banks for highlights and analysis of the Giants-Eagles game. Another tough loss for the Giants. On Giants Rewind, presented by New York Presbyterian Hospital, tomorrow evening at 6 on MSG Plus. Derek Brassard getting set for the face-off. Medical trainer Jim Ramsey.
Busy.
Had a lot of work.
It's been a good hockey game. Real good hockey game.
As you would expect. Down the ice it goes, and the icing is whistled. It's the hybrid icing with Doughty ahead
And then
of Pouliot.
And then Pouliot whacked Doughty with his stick. Doughty looked the other way, and then the referee had a couple of words with Pouliot.
Rangers with a 2-1 lead. And while Pouliot had a big chance earlier in the game. Kopitar and Brassard. Rangers control. Here comes Zuccarello. Going off against Pouliot. Zuccarello is there. Pouliot takes over. Delzato, a wrister that was blocked, trickles in and is swept aside by Quick. Mark Stahl waits. That went off of Justin Williams. Chased down by Brassard, Willie Mitchell. Now Zuccarello had it knocked away.
Oh, what a job he's doing against those bigger players. Zuccarello. Hard on Willie Mitchell.
The message was to increase the battle level, and the Rangers have done just that.
Sure
they have worked for everything. Williams checked there by Stahl. Up the board, stopped by Matt Green, saved by Lundqvist, and he covers up. Time for an update. We go downstairs to John Giannola. John.
Yeah, guys, the word from Ryan Callahan, why we haven't seen him yet, is that he's having dental work done. That's the official word from the Rangers organization after that hit he took from Andrei Kopitar, the stick to the mouth. No word yet from the team on whether we'll see Ryan Callahan in the third period, but we've certainly been around him enough to know that if he possibly can, we will see him.
Rangers need Dr. Don Solomon to get on a plane, get out here.
Boy.
That was tough.
Yeah, that really was. And again, Andrei Kopitar is not that type of player. He doesn't play that way. He's a great player, but he wouldn't put his stick in the face of someone if he knew they were there. He just didn't see him coming.
Matt Fratton tried to get in the zone, and another strong play by Dan Girardi. Dumped in deep. Rangers have Dominic Moore with Asham and Dorsett. Fratton lifts it ahead. Bounces down to Jeff Carter. Took it deep and had a sharp angle shot stopped by Lundqvist. Ryan McDonough. Dominic Moore for Aaron Asham. That's blocked by Matt Green, pinching in. Rangers lift it clear. 3:15 to go, second period. Rangers leading 2-1. Aaron Stoll taken out by Dan Girardi. Boy, Girardi's had a strong... The pair of Girardi-McDonough have played very, very well on defense for the Rangers. Battle there. McDonough against Jarrett Stoll. Dominic Moore against Kyle Clifford. There it is again. Stoll and McDonough. Fans reacting as Stoll was shoved aside by McDonough.
Boy, that's hard work. That's hard work.
Tough battles. Doughty moves in. Pass across to Regier. That's blocked in front. Shot didn't get through. Girardi blocked it. Got up slowly. With a good effort. Dorsett got tangled up with Doughty. In comes Trevor Lewis. Couldn't get a shot off. Great play by McDonough.
McDonough and Girardi can't skate, Sam.
And back the other way. Derek Stepan. He was hooked by Doughty. He goes to the net. Couldn't get a shot off.
He was hooked twice. He was hooked twice. They called the initial one at the blue line. And then he was hooked again as he was going to try and get the shot.
I don't think he was clearly ahead of the defender, so though Stepan may have looked for a call for a penalty shot,
Trying to
didn't
talk
get
his way
one.
into it. See, here's the initial call here. There's the hook. Now watch what happens as he gets to the net. Doughty gets his stick back and then hooks him again. There really should have been 2 calls on the play. As he was
2 different penalties.
There's 2 different penalties on the same play.
Rangers get the power play, and this power play presented by Volkswagen. Rangers' second power play of the game. They didn't get a shot on goal on the first one. Stefan, Boyle, Nash, Stahl, and Richards. Brad Richards for the Rangers. Rangers with a 2-1 lead and 2 minutes remaining in the second period. Brad Richards. Rangers head up. Stepan lifts it ahead for Boyle. In deep, Matt Green for LA off the glass. Nice play by Brad Richards. Deep to Stepan. Stepan checked by Matt Green. Willie Mitchell stops it. Knocked away by Boyle. Matt Green tries to move it to Stoll. He does, and he leads. Trevor Lewis breaking to the net. And a save off the crossbar. Went off the crossbar. I don't know if Lundqvist got a piece of it or not. Oh, Kings coming oh so close.
Beautiful passing by LA out of their own zone. They didn't panic with the puck. All started with Matt Green, the defenseman, a little backhand pass to the middle, another dump off to the wing, and away Lewis went down the ice.
Jarrett Stoll leading Lewis. 1 minute to go in the second period. 45 seconds to go in the Rangers power play. Strawman fires in. Zuccarello, Brassard, and Pouliot on with Strawman and Del Zotto. Very aggressive penalty kill by the LA Kings. They've done a really good job. Rangers haven't been able to set up anything at all on the power play. Del Zotto outlets to Brassard. Now Strawman, pressured by Kopitar. Pouliot gets it deep. Chance for Pouliot, knocked away by Matt Green. And Justin Williams brings it out. Del Zotto and Kopitar to the side of the net, picked up by Zuccarello. Power play is over. 12 seconds to go in the period. Rangers 0 for 2 on the power play without a shot on goal on either power play.
You know, that first power play unit had 4 left-handed shooting defensemen or players and 1 right-handed shooter. Preferably, they'd rather have 2, but with Callahan out, that's a problem.
Period comes to an end. Rangers get another goal from Brad Richards. They lead 2-1, end of 2.
Yeah, and then it was almost tied here at the end with the Rangers on the power play. Good work. Watch Green, too. Instead of just getting it down up the boards, he gives it to Stoll. Stoll a little dump off the other way, and here's a chance by Lewis. Quick release. I'm not sure if Lundqvist touched it either. But either way, it got the post for sure. And it was that close to being a tie game.
Coming up, it's the New York Lottery Intermission Report. John Giannone rejoins us. Rick Nash will be his special guest. We go back to the studio. Ron Duguay has his analysis of the second period. And Bill Pito has the Audi MSG 150. They'll look at highlights as well. Highlights of the Devils and Edmonton Oilers. Physical game here in L.A. Rangers skating well. Take advantage of opportunities. Brad Richards has 2 goals. Rangers lead 2-1, end of 2. We are back in L.A. So is Ryan Callahan. We're getting set for the third period. New York Rangers hockey is presented by Chase. John Giannone spoke with the captain moments ago. John, what'd you find out?
Yeah, Sam and Joe, I was standing outside the Ranger dressing room, and with about 5 minutes left before the start of this third period, first guy out of the dressing room was Ryan Callahan. Came out and stretched a little bit, got his body limbered up to get ready for the third period. I looked at him, his lower lip's a little bit fat. I asked him if he was okay. He looked at me, he smiled, and he just nodded his head yes. And he said, I'm back. So he is back for the third period.
He is one tough, courageous guy, isn't he? That's why you just have him back in the line. They can't even stop the bleeding. I mean, he's been missing for almost the entire second period. They still can't stop the bleeding. And he is just, that's why he's the captain, is the way he just, nothing stops him.
No.
They have to. Can you imagine what was going through his mind when he was watching the season opener in Phoenix? Right?
Oh, yeah. You feel helpless. There's nothing you can do. You just have to wait and be patient. And now he's had his chance to get back in the lineup. Was playing very well. Got caught with the stick of Anze Kopitar. But looks like he is set to jump on the ice at first call, and we're underway in the third period.
And again, Richards open at center, taking the faceoff with Stepan on the left wing.
Backhanded by Fratton, tipped behind the net. Brad Richards with Stepan and Nash, Girardi and McDonough. Mike Richards, Jeff Carter, and Matt Fratton starting the third period for LA. Nice pass. Richards shoots, saved by Lundqvist. Mike Richards getting a good chance. Jeff Carter sends it in.
That was a good setup by Fratton. You mentioned earlier, Sam, how he came over in the trade from Toronto for Jonathan Bernier. And they've been trying to find a left wing that can play on that top line. He made a good play there.
Darryl Sutter was telling us yesterday if there's anything with his LA team, that this Kings team is looking for more scoring on that left
Yeah,
side.
it's really been a problem.
Shot by Brian Boyle. Good shot, good save by Jonathan Quick. Callahan on the ice was driving to the net against Willie Mitchell. New York Rangers hockey is brought to you in part by Lenox Hill Hospital, the official hospital of the New York Rangers. Brian Boyle. 2003, Dustin Brown was the 13th pick overall by the LA Kings in the first round. Brian Boyle was the 26th pick of the first round by the LA Kings. Shot by Del Zotto, deflects wide. Up the boards and out of the zone. Mark Stahl takes it back.
Dustin Brown went in the offseason, Sam, and negotiated his own contract. And what Dean Lombardi, the GM, was saying, he said the whole time he was negotiating the deal, he was saying, is this going to work for the team? Are we going to be able to structure this well enough? He signed a long-term deal, I believe 7 or 8 years. But the cap hit was about $5.5 million. He didn't want to get an agent. He just wanted to make sure that the contract, they were still going to be able to get and keep the players to give them another chance to win a championship.
He's a good captain, Joe.
Sure is.
Very similar to Ryan Callahan with that hard-working ability. Gives you everything he has. Plays in all situations. Power play, penalty kill.
He's wearing a knee brace from an injury.
He hates it.
No, he hates it. He's wearing it from an injury he got last year during the playoffs. Still not healed yet. He didn't have surgery, but needs to wear the brace.
We were in the locker room with him yesterday. He said, I want to throw this right in the garbage.
Well, he's one of those players, he hates anything. He hates getting taped up. He doesn't like that. It's just uncomfortable for him.
Benoit Pouliot. Now Brassard knocked away. Pouliot taken down by Matt Green. No call on the play. Zotto to Stahl. Rangers move it out to Carello. Del Zotto moving in. Drop pass to Brassard. Try to lead Del Zotto, whose shot was blocked. Boynoff moving it around the boards for Clifford. Clifford lifts it into the Ranger zone. To the net, Kyle Clifford. Oh, it went the other way as he was checked by Del Zotto. And it went wide of the net. Rangers able to clear it out. Dominic Moore with Derek Dorsett and Aaron Asham. The puck on goal, covered by Quick. Mitchell and Dorsett were tangled up.
Now Clifford, we saw him get in a fight in the second period, and this time he gets an opportunity. Puck goes off and he just keeps going. And he went right past Mark Stahl. Mark Stahl did a good job knocking the puck off his stick, but it flipped up and hit Clifford in the chest, and his momentum just kept him going forward. And he was able to turn that into a good chance.
Face-off win. The shot went wide by Nash. Quick was screened on the play. Turnover forced by Nash. A backhander, a save by Quick. Oh, Nash with a good shift. Bounces his foot. Save by Quick on Nash again. Rick Nash now has 6 shots on goal in the game. He's had some chances. He's had 2 assists in the game, and there were 2 beauties that Quick had to come up big to keep his team in the game.
Oh, those were great saves, both of them.
Icing on the Rangers.
Jonathan Quick has been tremendous in this game, and Rick Nash has really had an outstanding game. He's been aggressive on the puck. There he is, keeping the play alive, so he gets a backhand there. Quick makes that stop, and then he is so good with his legs. And Quick that time with the right leg stops Nash a second time.
Right now, the favorite to be the U.S. Olympic goaltender. I mean, a lot can happen between now and February, but certainly right now, he would be the number one guy.
I would think that right now they probably have him at the top of the list.
Rick Nash sends it deep. Matt Green skates out of the zone, slowed down by Taylor Pyatt. And offside, LA on the play. 3:42 gone by here in the third period. Wednesday night on MSG Network, it's Melo and the Knicks. They're back, and they open the preseason against the Boston Celtics. Live coverage gets underway at 7:30. Knicks preseason basketball, Wednesday night on MSG.
Celtics are going to look a little bit different this year, aren't they?
Yes.
A lot of change over there. The coach, he went west.
A couple of the players going to New Jersey.
They went south.
Del Zotto all the way across for Taylor Pyatt. I shouldn't say New Jersey. See that? I'm still thinking New Jersey. They're the Brooklyn Nets.
Right.
Oh, it'll take me a while to get New Jersey out of my head there.
I missed it too. Sorry, I didn't correct you.
Taylor Pyatt. He got cut earlier in the game, but he's had a strong effort with Robin Regehr, giving them a veteran presence on the back line, something that Daryl Sutter likes.
Well, they needed someone last year because of Willie Mitchell being out, and Green was out as well. Right. Green missed almost the entire year, so they made the deal for Robin Regehr, getting him from Buffalo at the trade deadline, and he stepped in and did a real solid job. And now they get the benefit of those other two players being healthy.
Yes. Mark Stahl controlling. There's Zuccarello. Good pass. Pouliot chases it down. And Justin Williams able to bring it out. Dumps it in. Stahl and Williams go for it. Rosado is there to swing it around for Pouliot. Tipped in by the Kings. Voinov taken down, penalty on Pouliot. Power play to LA on a tripping call. LeBenoit Pouliot at 4:33.
Yeah, Voinov, the defenseman, pinched in on the play. He came all the way in, and that's him. And then Pouliot with the stick takes him down, and so the Rangers. It's never easy, is it?
No.
Now they got to try and kill this penalty off to Pouliot, Pouliot's had, he's had a pretty good game. He's had some scoring. He hasn't been able to finish.
No. Kings' second power play 0 for 1. They had no shots on their first power play. Boyle and Moore for the Rangers. Dominic Moore with Girardi and McDonough. The Kings open up with Stoll, Fratton, Carter, Muzzin, and Mike Richards.
Generally, Stoll will take the face-off. Rangers into the point.
And the puck went in. Do you believe that?
No.
Jonathan Quick doesn't believe it. It's a shorthanded goal for the Rangers.
The face-off, Stoll went down to the ice fighting for the face-off, and Daryl Sutter doesn't believe it either. He's got to get an explanation from one of his coaches. Well, here it is again. McDonough finally scores a goal. Goes right off of Quick and into the net.
And Jonathan Quick just missed it.
He did. He got a piece of it, but he didn't stop it cleanly. And it looked like it hit off the inside of his stick. Looked like he put his stick down flat to stop it. And it hit his stick and just deflected right through him into the net.
Everyone stunned But the Rangers, meanwhile, have a 2-goal lead for the second time of the game.
Ryan
On
McDonough.
a shorthanded goal.
Yep.
Ryan McDonough sending it down the ice, off the boards, quick, got a piece but missed it. Saved by Lundqvist on the shot by Jeff Carter. Kings on a power play, shot by Garrett Stoll, tipped by McDonough up into the netting, and play stops. Shorthanded goal at 4:37, and an assist to Brian Boyle on the play.
Face-off. He wins the face-off, and that's another something else that Alain Vigneault had talked about, killing penalties and doing a better job winning face-offs. He didn't expect that goal, of course, but he won the face-off in hopes that they could just clear the zone, which is what it looked like. Boy, this place is stunned, aren't they? I mean, this place is quiet.
All of a sudden, the puck goes down the ice, and all of a sudden, we're looking, and the Rangers are raising their arms. And Jonathan Quick was holding his head. And Darryl Sutter was asking Davis Payne, what happened? Drew Doughty. Power play LA, a minute 25 to go on the man advantage. Doughty pressured by Boyle. Rangers have McDonough and Girardi. Girardi gets there and clears it. And a bouncer.
You knew that was coming, right?
Yeah.
The old mock cheer. You knew that was coming.
In comes Jeff Carter. Nice move. Save. Lundqvist. Oh, a great move by Carter. Anze Kopitar. Checked there by Stralman. Carter's got it. Set up to Mike Richards.
Moore without a stick.
Voinov moves in. Stahl and Stralman. Dorsett and Dominic Moore. Dorsett trying to stop Jeff Carter and poke it clear. Couldn't do it.
Boy, that's great work by Dorsett. He tied up both players and the puck to allow Moore to get over to the bench to get a stick.
And the Rangers cleared it out. Make some changes. Mike Richards moves in. Little drag. And reaching back was Ryan McDonough to block it. Stepan dumps it in.
That's about as far as McDonough could reach. He slid and just kept his stick out as far as it'll go.
Girardi moves in. And a save by Quick with the glove. And the crowd gives him a cheer for that save.
Well, they forget he was the MVP of the playoffs not all that long ago.
There's the mock cheer. Jonathan Quick with an acknowledgement to the crowd. He knows he made a bad play. "12 seconds to go in the Kings power play. 6:25 gone by, third period. Rangers leading 3-1. Around the boards. Muzzin out of the penalty box. Pouliot shot by Matt Green. Saved by Lundqvist, and he holds it. So the Rangers get an uncanny shorthanded goal and lead it 3-1.
Well, a shorthanded goal has given the Rangers a 3-1 lead. And you talk about crazy. Here's the face-off. Watch what happens to his stick right here. He goes out, loses his stick, and it hits his blocker and deflects into the net. You should grab your head. I mean, when something like that happens, we've all had embarrassing things, and that you talk about a critical time of the game. I mean, he just lost his stick. He just
he shook his head, grabbed it.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's ever happened to him before.
I've never seen that, Sam. Not like that. I've seen some pucks go in off of, sometimes it deflects, hits it, but not where you lose your stick and it hits the block.
Right. Oh, we've seen the ones where it hits off the boards. The goalie starts to go out to play a shoot around, and all of a sudden it caroms in. Ranger line of Boyle, Pyatt, and Callahan on. Cut by Dustin Brown, went wide. Physical play continues. Callahan has the puck. Rangers with a 3-1 lead. 12:35 to go, third period. Stralman with a takeaway, moves in. Chases it down. Around for Brad Richards.
Rangers defense are staying aggressive.
Played to the side of the net by Brad Richards, who has 2 goals in the game. And Richards to step on, he missed the net. This line has been very, very good on the forecheck. They forced several turnovers and created a lot of scoring chances.
Well, Richards has continued. Here's another turnover.
Nash got taken down. Stays with it. Good effort by Rick Nash. Stepan in the corner. John Moore gets to it. Here's Stepan trying to get it out in front of him. He's denied by Dwight King. Robin Regeer.
And Zuccarello's on the ice now, has also been a relentless player tonight. He has been all over the puck, making plays. He deserves the goal the way he's played.
Pass intended for Zuccarello goes all the way down for an icing. Play stops with 11:31 to go here in the 3rd period. Introducing the Lounges at Madison Square Garden. A spectacular new group seating and hospitality experience on the new bridge level. Visit NewYorkRangers.com or call 212-465-6080. The transformation nearing completion. We will be at Madison Square Garden, Rangers home opener, October the 28th. And it will be beautiful. The new bridges, the lounges, brand new video board. Something special. Pouliot ahead of Voynov, so there's no icing. Set up for Girardi, missed it on the setup from Zuccarello. Trying the one-timer. Nice play by Zuccarello. Girardi can't control. Pressure from Justin Williams. Kopitar tied up with Dorsett. Coming down to the midway point of the 3rd period. Rangers leading 3-1. Dorsett hustles to the puck. Waits for help. He's knocked down by Matt Green.
Now, just as Rick Nash was telling John Giannone, he talked about staying aggressive, keep forechecking. That's what they've done here in the 3rd period. They haven't backed off the way they played through the first 2 periods at all. Here's another good play.
A good play by Dominic Moore in the neutral zone. Aggressive forecheck by Aaron Asham. And it's been everybody's show. You go up and down the line if you think of every player. They have played this style throughout the game. Mike Richards, checked by Boyle. Take away, out comes Callahan with Taylor Pyatt. Doughty. Boyle is there to take it. Now Delzato. Knocked down and brought out by Matt Fratton. Fratton carries in and shoots, knocked down with his shoulder. Tough rising shot by Fratton. And a good save by Lundqvist. 9.5 minutes to go. 3rd period. Rangers leading 3-1. Delzato. LA Kings with one of the best home ice records in the league last season. Low shot by Colin Fraser, stopped by Lundqvist. There's Rick Nash able to move it to Richards. Brad Richards. All the way around. This line has been very good for the Rangers. Pass in front for Stepan, just missed connecting. Jordan Nolan with a great move. Goes to the net, save! Lundqvist. He got bumped by Nolan, and he covers the puck at the side of the net. Jordan Nolan with a terrific move. He challenged Lundqvist. And Lundqvist comes up with a big save. It's time for our Cadillac trivia question. Anze Kopitar led the Kings in scoring for 6 consecutive seasons. Who's the only other King to lead LA in scoring for 6 straight seasons?
I was thinking 99, but I'm going to go with Marcel Dionne.
You know, that's a good choice. I'm going with that, too. Marcel Dionne, one-time New York Ranger, great LA King hero, Hall of Famer, 8 seasons leading the Kings. Number 16.
Boy, he had that line. Dave Taylor to his right there was on one side. Charlie Simmer was on the other side.
Charlie Simmer, now
Up in Calgary.
broadcaster in Calgary.
Yeah, he and Marcel still converse an awful lot.
Dave Taylor was here tonight.
Yeah, Dave's with the St. Louis Blues now. There's the GM here for a long time.
Doughty pressured by Boyle. Rangers remain aggressive on the forecheck. 8:20 to go, third period. Rangers leading 3-1. 2 goals by Brad Richards, 1 by Ryan McDonough. How about that save by Henrik Lundqvist on Jordan Nolan?
Well, he stayed right with him. Lundqvist, along with a lot of his teammates, looked sharper too. It was the stick of Stralman that took down John Moore. And that's almost uncharted territory for Nolan. He's not a goal scorer. He's a hard-working winger, third, fourth liner. You don't see him very often with those types of chances.
Penalty call. Dorsett with a good effort to go for the puck off the faceoff, was tripped up, and the Rangers get a power play. Again, indicative of the effort the Rangers have put forth in this game tonight.
Yeah, this line has been good. Daryl Sutter hasn't liked that.
LA point number 14, too much for tripping.
Scene right off the face-off. Kopitar wins it and tries to kick it back. Can't do it with his skate, so he tries. He uses his, or with his stick, so he uses his skate to kick it behind him. And Dorsett anticipated where the puck was going to be, picked it up, drew the penalty, and now the Rangers with a real opportunity here. One more, they could put this game away with just over 8 to play.
Shot by Girardi, tipped into the corner. Third power play of the game for the Rangers. They're 0 for 2 and haven't had a shot on goal on the power play. King's penalty kill has been very aggressive and very good. Justin Williams for tripping at 11:45. Mark Stahl with Dan Girardi at the points. Step on to Nash. Nash goes deep against Matt Green. Step on Nash and Brad Richards up front. Richards had been on the point. Chip clear by Jared Stahl. Stahl moves in. Shoots. Saved by Lundqvist. And here comes Brad Richards by himself. Nash at the blue line.
Dan Girardi just got caught in no man's land. And Jared Stahl, who has a tremendous shot, loves to go over the glove, and Lundqvist has really been solid.
A little over a minute to go in the power play. 7:15 to go, third period. Rangers with a 3-1 lead. Delzato weaves his way in. Pouliot lays it across to Brassard. Saved by Quick. There's the first shot on goal on the power play for the Rangers. Zuccarello. That pass deflected. Picked up by Jeff Carter. Carter with Mike Richards moving down. Here comes Richards. Looking. Good play by Zuccarello coming back.
Zuccarello's just been tremendous. Just tremendous with his effort on both sides. Look at him. Here he goes again.
Carries it in.
Been all over the ice.
Pass intended for Brassard went through to Pouliot. 22 seconds to go in the Rangers power play. Kings able to clear.
Now Zuccarello's made plays with the puck. He's made defensive plays. He's gone up against some of the bigger players and won battles.
Good pass to Callahan. Getting some power play time here late in the man advantage. Boyle on with Callahan and Hyatt. Power play is over. Teams at full strength. Dustin Brown moves in. 6:10 to go, third period. Rangers leading 3-1. Rangers 0 for 3 on the power play in the game. And 1 shot on goal on that last power play. Anze Kopitar. Now Justin Williams. Girardi is there. Boyle is there. Good job by the Rangers. And look at Girardi able to come away with the puck and get it to Taylor Pyatt. Good play by Dan Girardi. Jake Muzzin. Doughty with the outlet. For Jordan Nolan, who was broken up. Good defensive play by John Moore. Back the other way, Dominic Moore. Regier pressured. How about that effort by Derek Dorsett?
Been a good line, that fourth line. Asham stepped in. He's had a good game along with his 2 line mates.
Kings are offside. 5:14 to go, third period. Rangers lead it 3-1. Turning point of the game is served up by DQ, the home of fan food, not fast food.
Well, it was 2-1, and the Rangers found themselves shorthanded. Brian Boyle wins the faceoff, and Ryan McDonagh scores the shorthanded goal on that crazy play. Jonathan Quick, the goaltender, comes out, loses his stick, it hits his blocker, deflection to the empty net. And this place, which has been enthusiastic the whole game, has been a good hockey game. It went quiet.
Rangers have scored 2 goals in this game that have gone in off LA Kings players. One on that diving play by Voinov on a Richards shot or Richards pass that went in the net. And then this one off of Jonathan Quick. Under 5 minutes to go in the third. Rangers remain aggressive on the forecheck. That's been the style of play throughout. That played in front was deflected over the top by Trevor Lewis. Lundqvist got bumped, but he's okay. Delzato got taken down. 4.5 minutes to go in the third. Rangers have made one glaring mistake in the game on a turnover, and the Kings were able to capitalize. Other than that, it's been a solid performance. Matt Fratton centers through to Mike Richards. Quick shot went wide. Kyle Clifford just missed the deflection. Rangers able to clear it out of the zone. Went off a Kings player. Willie Mitchell back to get it. 4 minutes to go in the third. Slava Voinov forced back by Zuccarello.
Yeah, Zuccarello, I mean, Voinov stopped, turned one way. Zuccarello stopped, turned with him, forced him back.
There's Pouliot on the forecheck. And they almost forced the turnover. Now they did. Girardi right back in. Brassard checked Voinov. Rangers take it back. McDonagh's shot tipped into the corner. Girardi winds it deep. Jeff Carter trying to play it back. Brassard keeps it deep in the Kings zone.
Boy, solid shift. Brassard, Zuccarello, Pouliot. That's a good 40 seconds of just keeping the puck in the LA zone.
Play whistled down with 3:12 to go. After the game, get post-game reaction from the Rangers locker room. We've got highlights, analysis on the Mercedes-Benz Rangers post-game right here on MSG. John Gino works the locker room. Dave Maloney and Joe Micheletti here with analysis. Back in the studio, Bill Pito and Ron Duguay. Stay tuned. Mercedes-Benz Rangers postgame coming up after the action on the ice concludes. Stepan in front. That just went wide. Brad Richards just missed a hat-trick goal. Long shot. Blocker away, way up in the air. Knocked down by Anze Kopitar. Under 3 minutes to go, third period. Muzzin able to keep it in. Richards clears it out. That line has been good. Rick Nash with a couple of assists. Stepan with an assist. 2 goals for Brad Richards. And he just missed the third. Justin Williams tied up by Brian Boyle. Mark Stahl able to push it ahead to Stallman. Matt Green for Anze Kopitar. Join us tomorrow night. Rangers fly from LA right after the game to San Jose to meet the Sharks tomorrow night.
Yeah, they're a good team. Their last game they beat Phoenix and had 51 shots against the Coyotes.
Whoa. That's the Shark Tank. Rangers and the Sharks tomorrow night. Visa Rangers game night at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. At 10:30, Rangers and the San Jose Sharks. Brian Boyle along the board. Zuccarello plays it back. Here comes Zuccarello. Pulls up against Muzzin. Plays it back to Delzato. And Delzato winds it deep to Dominic Moore. Minute and a half to go. That shot was blocked in front. Zuccarello to Moore. Saved by Quick, and he covers up. Rangers still going. Still going. A minute 23 to go. Tonight's game recap is brought to you by Tri-Honda. Brad Richards, 2-goal game, 24th of his career. Rick Nash, 2 assists. 6 shots on goal. Ryan McDonough with a shorthanded goal. And if you missed it, you got to check out the highlights on the postgame. It's worth looking at. As he banked it off the boards, and Jonathan Quick misplayed it. Rangers with a 3-1 lead. McDonough fires. That went off of Voynov, and Quick had to make a tough save. Rangers relentless here. Rick Nash.
Well, they've been tremendous in the third period. I mean, they've taken the play to the Los Angeles Kings here in the third.
Rangers have controlled the game. Carter with a tough shot and a good save by Lundqvist. Jonathan Quick has gone to the bench. King's net is empty. That was missed by Kyle Clifford in front. 6 skaters on. Kopitar shoots. Save Lundqvist. Carter puts it in front. Cleared aside. Nash fires for the empty net, but wide. And it'll be an icing on the Rangers. 19.2 remaining. Don't forget, immediately following the conclusion of the game, it's Rangers postgame, Mercedes-Benz Rangers postgame, and we invite you to join the conversation. Send your questions and comments to #NYRExtra.
Now the Rangers will get a chance to talk it over. The LA Kings have taken their timeout. Jonathan Quick on the bench.
I have to tell him, and he knows his family's watching back in Connecticut, so that was a tough one for him. Yeah.
That's all it is one of those things.
Meanwhile, on the Rangers bench, everything that the coaches talked about, battle level, taking care of the little things, Rangers have done it all, and staying with it, staying with the game plan. They've been relentless throughout the game on the forecheck.
They've made plays. They've had 4 more shots in this game, but LA is a more difficult team to get shots against. And so they've done a lot of really good things. I think if you go up and down the lineup, Sam, I mean, you can put a check mark next to the majority of the players who have been better in this game. Richards came back and he continued what he did in game 1 with his 2 line mates. Nash was tremendous tonight. Stepan was better tonight than against Phoenix, and he'll continue to get better as he plays more. Zuccarello was just tremendous.
Carter with a stuff-in chance, a save by Lundqvist. Puck still loose. That shot fired through. 8 seconds to go. Stick away by Stepan. Gets it to Richards. He goes to Nash. Nash skates in. Nash to the empty net, and the horn sounds, ending the game. And a terrific end-to-end effort for the Rangers. Ends in a 3-1 win, and for Alain Vigneault, his first win as head coach of the New York Rangers. Congratulations to him.
Well, yeah, exactly, Sam. Congratulations.
And take that 0 off the board at Staples Center for Henrik Lundqvist.
He gets a win. He gets a win. No, you know what? And, you know, with this coaching staff, and they kept telling us over the week, just, you know, give us some time. We got some things, but we've done some good things. We have to improve in other areas. They improved in those other areas. Henrik Lundqvist had a couple of real good days with Benoit Allaire, and he was sharp. And just go again down this lineup. Callahan back in the lineup, gave him a spark, and then he had to leave and came back courageously after getting hit with the high stick.
That's a good team win for the New York Rangers. They beat the LA Kings 3-1, and the head coach accepts congratulations from his assistants. That's a feel-good win for Alain Vigneault and the Rangers.